Put it away. It's live.
I think we are live. Welcome,
Yeah.
everyone. I am here with my guest, Jaime Glassman. She is a registered kinesiologist and she practices in the GTA in the Toronto area, if anyone is interested. And today we're going to chat about a whole bunch of awesome stuff because Jaime is awesome. But we are going to focus a lot on movement, even like fear of movement, things that might be stopping you from getting started if that is a problem. We're going to talk about like body shame and a whole bunch of stuff about that as well. So welcome, Jaime. I'm so happy to have you here. This is going to be so much fun.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm always so excited to talk to other inspirational, amazing people that are just helping people access their bodies, their minds, and their health. So thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. I can't wait to get into the juicy stuff, but I'd love to just have you talk about what you do and like maybe even why you do it.
Right. I always forget that that's a thing. I can't just like go off into a rant. My name is Jaime Glassman. I am a registered kinesiologist, as Daina said, and I work with helping to redefine what exercise means for people with chronic pain and chronic illness. So what that looks like a lot of the time is really just figuring out how to take the pieces of activity and apply them to your life so that you can actually stick with them. And I have been in rehab, I've been in fitness. I've seen literally every kind of person under the sun in terms of pain, injuries, different stages of their injuries. And my job is to get them moving regardless. So I'm not always the most liked person at the beginning, but I wear them down eventually. And it's really about being able to not only feel strong and empowered in your body, but actually set you up with the tools for success to get you there, to keep you there, and allow you to keep going through that cycle no matter where you are at in life.
I love that. And it's so important. I feel like if you don't feel safe doing what you do, then you're not going to want to do it. Like there's this fear of doing something. You might hurt yourself, you might get worse, but I think getting past that fear, and I love that you help people do that because that is so important.
Absolutely. And it's great because it's not only just making people do the rehab exercises that they're boring and they're annoying, it's really figuring out what you love to do, what you want to be able to do as a human with your life, and enabling you to do that, to feel strong and feel strong in your body so that you can do the things you love instead of making exercise a chore. Exercise can be so fun and exciting and empowering, but you might not know where to start or how to get there, and that's okay. You don't have to do that alone.
Right. And I feel like a lot of that is because there's like the stigma of what exercise should look like. And I feel like a part of this is because of the fitness industry. Can we chat a little bit about that?
Oh, I have a lot of opinions about that. A lot of opinions that might get me in trouble, but that's okay. I'm a warrior. Kidding. I don't know. That was weird. So I feel like a lot of the time the fitness industry has kind of perpetuated this expectation that fitness is for the athletic and that you have to be athletic in order to be good at fitness. Much in the same way that people think that they're good at balance, but balance is something that is really your ability to recover from instability and not your ability to be stationary and what you expect balance to be. And I think that fitness is the same. Is fitness is your body's ability to maintain strength and to function and move and adapt to situations in life. Um, but it doesn't have to be athletic. You don't have to be good at sports to be good at fitness. You don't have to be in the gym and lifting a ton of weight 5 days a week in order to feel like you've gotten what you need out of exercise. One of my favorite modalities of exercise for my health is literally walking. Because if I can get out and walk and like get that fresh air, it breaks up my day. And all the studies show that walking actually helps you metabolize sugars in your body better, helps you digest your food, it helps you clear your mind. All these things that it counts as exercise. And that's what frustrates me. And then even on the other end of that rehab spectrum where people are continually getting hurt, continually going through the cycle of going to rehab and then going back to like the things that hurt them, the behaviors that hurt them, expecting that treatment's going to fix years of improper movement habits. um, is just defeating after time. And then I've met so many people that are like, I keep trying to exercise and I really want to exercise because I know it's so helpful for my mental health and my physical well-being, but I keep getting hurt. And that in itself creates that, like, perpetuates that I am not good enough to do fitness. And that's just not true. It's you haven't found the tools that work for you because you're working within a system that was not made for you.
Yeah, I love everything that you just had to say. It's like you pulled everything straight out of my head.
Oh my God, that's amazing. It's so much better than me, what I normally do, which is pulling it all out of my butt. So it's great.
Let's talk a little bit more about this like body shame aspect because I feel like part of that has to do with the fitness industry as well and part of the reason why people don't start exercising. And I know I've struggled with this myself and I know so many other people who do too. It's like you have to be able to move and that is it's kind of like this barrier. Like if you feel like your weight is getting in the way of movements and stuff or like I feel like even watching exercise videos and watching these people who are able to just move because like they don't have all that extra stuff hanging around but it's like you don't really know how to move within your own body as well because you don't see that in a model if you
Yeah.
like totally get what I'm trying
I
to say right
100% get where you're coming from because on the one hand, we go to our doctors and we only see the benefit of investing in our health when we're told by our doctors that we need to change our diet and exercise. And we think that we should know what those tools mean, but we haven't been prepared to manage that. And we're continually being told if you lose weight, you'll feel better. And you can actually start to feel better before you start losing weight. And at the same time, too, a lot of the time, if weight is your primary goal for exercising, that can feel so far away. And it's so defeating that just your weight and the number on the scale can stay the same, but your body composition can change drastically by making small changes in your day and your life, and also just starting to find ways to make exercise accessible to you and building up to that tolerance. I know something for myself. I can relate to that too. I'm someone that teaches exercise for a living, but I have a stomach and I've been ashamed of that for years. And I was told that I wouldn't be successful in this business if I wasn't physically looking like the other trainers, if I wasn't looking like someone that teaches exercise, if I wasn't feeding into the stereotype of what society just like not blah, blah, words are hard, depicts as fitness. And my main goal has always been I want to be able to relate to people. I want to hear people and I want to believe their stories because that's the true testament about how we can really start to create change is if we create trust, understanding, and independence in our patients and our people. And that's how we do that is by really meeting them where they're at, identifying that, yeah, the way the world has structured exercise so far works for some people. It doesn't work for everyone. And that's okay. And that's why I think what we do is so special because we're creating an opportunity for strong people to really identify how strong they are and that they are not defined by the pieces in their life they haven't controlled 100% yet because they don't have to do it alone. They can get support to figure out how to do it for them in their lives. And it doesn't have to be dictated by weight, it doesn't have to be dictated by what you think that you should be. And that's where a lot of that shame piece comes in. You feel like you should know by a certain point what you should be able to do and how to manage your life and how to master nutrition and how to master fitness. But everything that's out there on the internet is not made for you. It's made by them. It's made by that person. And that's a lot of what my strategy is figuring out what do you love to do? Do you want to be able to play a sport? Do you just want to be able to walk up like a flight of stairs without worrying about whether your knee or low back is going to hurt or not feel winded? Do you want to get out of bed and know what you need to do in the morning to prevent or manage your pain instead of just going to bed scared of how you're going to present in the morning? Like it's about creating that strategy that you can stick to and maintain that consistency. And all of the research out there right now, all of it is a strong word. A lot of the research out there right now is showing time and time again that consistency is more important than load and volume. And that what that's saying is you don't need to be a fitness model athlete in order to be healthy, and being a fitness model athlete does not guarantee that you will be injury free and healthy.
That's so true. And yeah, again, everything that you're saying is like everything that I think and I believe as well. So I love that you're saying
Thank
all
you.
this.
Oh,
But
it's so
yeah,
nice.
I see
I'm
this
like,
all the
validation is
time.
key.
I see this all the time in my practice as well. Like I have people who are doing CrossFit for basically a living, like they're doing workouts 24/7 essentially, and they still come in with like really bad injuries, but it's also because they haven't really been taught how to move. And I feel like because we kind of skip over a lot of those foundational pieces at the beginning and we don't really understand the way our body moves, we're not aware of different things about like tiny little shifts that we can make with exercise. Like, for example, this one irritates me so much. I don't know if you get this all the time, but
Probably.
people stretching their hamstrings and like having their foot dorsiflexed. So that's like when your toes are pointing towards you. You cannot stretch your hamstrings like that. You're stretching your calf or your sciatic nerve. And this is like, just knowing these types of things, because like that's just what's perpetuated out on the internet. Like you see someone doing a forward fold in yoga and you automatically assume, okay, we're stretching the hamstrings, but that's not actually what's happening. And like, because we skip over these little tiny things that we don't understand in our bodies, we don't know like how it functions, how it works, and how it moves, we
Yeah.
can start getting into those injuries. And like, I love teaching these little things that even people who do CrossFit and feel like they know everything about fitness are doing. They don't necessarily know all of those pieces. Can we chat a little bit about that?
Oh, I have so many opinions. As you're talking, I'm like, yeah. And I also have other things around that. And the number one thing I tell people is that there is no one right way to do anything. There are more optimal ways, but like, let's say that you've hyperextension in your knees. Doing a hamstring stretch for you be very different than someone that has overactive quads, so they can't fully extend their knee. So little things like that, there's no one right way to do it. And that's where it can be kind of like stunting, where you're like, I get this all the time. I don't think I'm doing it correctly on my own, so I don't do it at all. And I need you to make sure I'm doing it right. My main goal is to teach you how to do it and understand that it's okay to do it wrong, but how to do it wrong safely and how to let it evolve, because there's no wrong. There's no, this is the right way and then this is the wrong way, because that defeats the purpose of movement. It's, we should be moving more to protect our body from feeling like shit. Pardon my French. If we're forcing anything for our body, and if we're continually keeping our body into an acute state of stress, which is high intensity exercise, mental stuff, panic, whatever it is, if we're constantly replacing one stress with another, it's still stress. If we don't allow our body to rest, we will not be able to get the benefits of exercise. And that's when we get injured, anyways, because we're not able to identify when pain is coming or when our body's not functioning well. And we're forcing our body to maintain something that we think we need to out of consistency. And that overtraining is what I see a lot of injuries with as well. And also the unawareness of how an exercise is going to affect their body. Why are they doing this exercise? And it's not, I'm doing why because it's activating my like my deep traps and my lower to mid traps, which are combating your upper trap activation. No, it's none of that. It's, why am I doing this exercise? It's because it's challenging your posture from sitting all day and literally changing your mechanics so you can stand up taller and feel better. Like, that's why you're doing it. But understanding why it matters and how to fit it into your day so that you can give a shit about it, I'm swearing, I feel very passionately about this, is really going to make the biggest impact, because again, consistency is key. And the one thing I notice the most about hamstring stretches is not the leg you're stretching, it's the leg that's on the floor. Because when your foot's on the floor and it's externally rotated, you're not getting your hamstring. But as soon as you like rotate that bottom foot in and facing the bench, assuming we're talking about a standing hamstring stretch, you can always do the lying. There's a million options, depends on what you can do. But as soon as you rotate that foot forward, you can get that hip hinge instead of surpassing your hips to just get your leg up on the bench, and whoop-de-doo, you have flexibility. It's why are we doing it? And I have people all the time that are like, I was told that I have weak glutes or I have tight hamstrings, and that's the problem. No, it isn't. It's that you sit all day for work, you do high impact exercises, and you don't understand what your body needs to manage itself throughout the day. How many times should I be getting up? How long should I be going for a walk for? What does my heart rate mean? What are other metrics that matter more than weight? Like how your heart rate can recover from exercise, what you're like, how much you can lift, and like what your form looks like, and all of these other factors. And you don't have to understand all of it. You don't have to be good at all of it. You just have to be consistent at things that you like that get you moving, because the things that keep you moving keep you out of pain, regardless of what's going on inside your body.
Love that you said that. And I feel like it's all about, it's more like the functional movements, not the individual movements that we are looking at that will help you to get over really anything. It doesn't even have to be pain. But I
It's
love
about what are you doing? Like, what do you need to be able to do, and how do you optimize those movements? Like,
exactly.
pardon me, sometimes when I don't breathe, I like lose all of, it's just my mouth gets very dry. Anyways, so there's a couple points there too. It's what do you need to be able to do? So if you go to your doctor and they're like, okay, you hurt yourself, don't exercise. That one drives me insane, because then the
Mhm.
patient leaves the doctor's office and thinks that they can't exercise, but they don't understand that their movements are still being active. So how do you manage those lower and moderate intensity activities to help manage their heart rate and blood pressure, but also to be respectful of their injuries and their pain? And that's what a kinesiologist can do, is we can work with more of those complex situations to really understand where you're at in your health, and also help you break down those barriers of like stress and pain. When is it appropriate to start exercising again? What do you start with? And that's when those smaller movements, those muscle specific movements, are more appropriate, is easing you back into exercise, doing things that feel safe for you, and also like helping you turn on muscles. And I use air quotes because like it's not exclusively like to turn on muscles, and like turning on muscles don't make you better at doing an exercise. It just, if you're doing things that make you feel your body in all directions better, you're going to be better at doing it subconsciously, so that you're more aware of how your body's feeling, and then you can predict, not predict, but you can see when you need to rest sooner, so you can prevent injury, instead of just like doing reps and sets just for the sake of it and hoping to get to a certain number, and then you're like, well, I can't get to this number, and now I've deeply correlated my value based on what I can and cannot do. um that was a lot, that was loaded, that's fair. Yeah. I
Lots
tried
of
to get as
good
much out of
information.
there as possible.
Yeah, we've got a lot of amazing stuff out of you. I don't want to overwhelm people too much with so much stuff. Is there anything that you would like people to really just take away from this conversation? Any like key points that you want to leave people with?
Yeah, I think my biggest point is do what feels safe, and do it well, and do it often. Because if it's something that you can do, whether it's just getting up from your chair or going for a walk, doing what your tolerance is will allow you to create more for yourself and get you to that next level. But if you're trying to put yourself in a position to do what other people are doing, it's just going to feel disappointing, and it's not productive for you, and that's okay. So, knowing what you can do, focus on what you can do, and ask for help to focus on what works for you and your body. And that's it, I guess.
Amazing. Love it. Awesome. Well, if anyone wants to work with you or wants to find you, where can we send them?
So, I am taking on new patients for a 3-month program to really help you figure out where you need to start, how to implement these strategies, and how to kind of build your exercise startup guide, if you will, that you can keep doing over and over again, especially if you're in pain, and especially if you have chronic illness that keeps being dismissed by the fitness industry. You can contact me at my website, it's themovementmaven.com, or find me on Instagram at the movement maven. And I'm also offering to your audience a free discovery call to see if this is a good fit for you. Because I want to make sure that we're on the same page and that we really are figuring out what is the best option for you, to really get the most out of working together so that you can move on in your life. So,
Amazing. And we'll be sure to put all of those links down below in the comments so you can access them easily. And Jaime, it was so nice to have you here. Thank you so much for sharing everything that you had to say with us. I'm so happy that we had this chat.
me too. Thank you for having me. I always love talking to you, and I will speak to you soon.
All right. We'll just end it here. So have a great day, everyone.